I just went for a massive walk because I was like fully frustrated. And yeah, I was just literally talking to myself like, thank God that we're wearing masks. I was just fully found myself like literally telling myself a massive story out loud behind the mask. And then I ran into a friend on the path. And I thought, shit, he's going to be able to see me. He would have seen me like fully talking to myself. But then I realized it was behind the mask. So anyway, I'm going to tell you the story that I was just telling myself because I'm in lockdown pretty much by myself. So, well, I am by myself for most of the time. So I found that I just, I'm talking to myself a lot, so I may as well just talk to you guys. So I wanted to tell you, well, this is the story that I was telling myself, so I'll tell you guys the story. So basically, when I was living in Bali, last year, I made some really amazing friends and like we lived in a villa together. And we were doing some recording and doing some production work, like some music production and just little bits and bobs and stuff. And I'm like a massive fan of like freestyling. But I was like, always felt like, I can't really do that, like I have tried. I have tried before, but I don't know, just in my own little mind. Anyway, so one night we had some friends over and we sat up on the rooftop and they were all like, African American, dreadlocks, really cool vibe and everything. And they were, we had a little circle and we were all, they put on some hip hop sort of like backing track or whatever. And they were like going around in a circle, like taking turns to like drop some like, some words in or whatever over this backing track. Anyway, so Monique, one of the chicks, she's beautiful, awesome, like really good as well. And she was like, does Rachel, like, what about you, Rachel? And then Daniel pipes up and Daniel's like, knows exactly how to press my buttons. And he goes, Rachel doesn't know hip hop. And I just went real quiet. And in that moment, I just thought, what the fuck? Like, don't you fucking assume that I don't know hip hop? And then I was thinking, I don't know if I do know hip hop or not, but I most certainly appreciate it. But don't fucking assume that I don't, because I don't like that. I don't like that assumption that, I don't. So anyway, in that moment, I thought, right, I'll fucking show you. So anyway, so I sat there and like, I write poetry, right? So I thought, okay, I'm just going to like write it. I'm just going to like, write a quick little few words in my mind. And, and I'm just going to wait for my moment. Anyway, I was so nervous. Like I was fully just so nervous. I was like sitting there waiting and like let a few, rounds go by and I'm thinking, oh my God, I just, and I was like, God, that anticipation feeling like, I'm going to like drop some words in. Anyway, and I'm like, planning my little words and everything. So anyway, there was a gap and I just jump in. And I'm like, haven and space, ethereal grace, pillowcase, made of satin and lace, tears running down my face, take me to my happy place. Something like, I stare off into space and wait for you, blah, 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 whatever it was, right? So I just went off on a little thing and both of them just sat there like fully gobsmacked, all three of them just sat there fully gobsmacked, like, and they were like, whoa. And I was like, yes, like having like this little silent, like, woo, like a little, giving myself like a little high five. Anyway, but I just like played it cool, like, fuck yeah. Don't tell me I don't know hip hop, but I didn't say that either. I just like, basked in the moment of the moment. Anyway, I like to shock people. Anyway, so then I think it was like maybe a couple of weeks later or something, we went to this really awesome like night up in Ubud with like artists and musicians and dancers and stuff, and we got like an invite or whatever at this epic, ridiculous, like amazing property. And yeah, there was I took up my djembes and like we took up some shakers and stuff, and there was a massive jam session. So I was just singing a little bit and like playing the egg and the shaker and stuff. And then a couple of, there was a bit of a freestyle session going on, and I was like absolutely loving it. And then there was like a gap, and like there were about like literally like maybe almost like, I don't know, 50 people or something like sitting watching, and there was maybe 10 of us or something like jamming, and I was literally just like the background chick with the egg. Anyway, and there was a gap, and Daniel from across the room, someone said, oh, who wants to jump in? And Daniel like looks up at me and goes, Rachel's got some words. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell? Like, but I just cannot back down from a challenge, like when there's all these people watching. So I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to do it. So I just instantly went so nervous, like probably slightly nauseous, and I was like trying to like remember the words from the other day, and I was like, okay, just, you know, just start off with those words and then let it flow from there. So I started off like the same, like haven and space, ethereal grace, tears running down my face, pillowcase made of satin and lace, take me to my happy place, I stare off into space, I'm cooking near the window with my cookie dough, and or something like that. I went off on like a tangent with my cookie dough. Now somebody please jump in. Please, somebody just begin. You know, I think I'm done. Somebody jump in and you have some fun. I've said my words and now I just want to sit back and observe, you know, like I was like, ah! And anyway, they all started clapping. It was like, you know, it's a real like encouraging community up there. And everyone was like, yeah! And I was like super stoked, even though I just sounded so, you know, like I sounded like a bogan in that moment. But anyway, but I could sort of get away with it because there weren't many Aussies there, so they probably just think, oh God, bless the poor Australian chick. Anyway, so, we've got some Hare Krishnas coming toward us with some beautiful music. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, that's when, after that, like later that night, heaps of people like came up to me and were like, we could see how nervous you were, but we could see how much you were like enjoying that. And, you know, it was so good that you challenged yourself to do something that you enjoyed so much. And I just felt really encouraged. So then like after that, the Hare Krishnas. Hare Krishna. Anyway, so basically after that night, I like fully, every time there was a chance, I would like fully jump in and like just practice and like push myself, and I'd always feel like equally as nervous every single time. But I just kept pushing myself, and yeah, anyway, that's my whole story. But yeah, it's just fun. Thank you for listening, so that I'm just, not walking along talking to myself like a crazy person, but at least I've got a camera.